Are you looking for more out of your life? Do you need ideas on how to start new businesses and how to move forward in your own personal life? Well, guess what? You have come to the right radio show. At You Can Overcome Anything podcast show, you will learn and hear from many people from all walks of life who are sharing their challenges, their stories, the habits, and the mind shifts they had to overcome to become who they are today. On top, you will get a chance to connect and see how you can overcome anything by networking and learning about your next move through this radio show. I present to you our great speakers at You Can Overcome Anything podcast show with your host, Cesar Espino. Hello and welcome back to You Can Overcome Anything podcast show with your host, Cesar Respino. You can find me at www.CesarRespino.com. And today I have a special guest. His name is Kohdi Rayne. Cody, how are you, brother?
What is going on, Cesar?
What is going on, man?
Thank you so much for having me, man. Lots is going on.
Definitely there is, man. And you know what? I'm excited to have you here and see what what's going to come in the next couple of weeks and, just uniting together, right? Working together for
100.
sure.
Yeah.
So let me do this. Before we get started, let me just give a quick introduction to our listeners and viewers of who you are so they can kind of get an idea, and then we can dive into this. So Cody actually is a survivor of a liver failure. And, that was obviously very critical, which we're going to dive into that. And now he is a mindset and marketing mentor that leads multiple teams and supports entrepreneurs on their journey to success, which is pretty awesome. And you are creating a lot of great content, man. I mean, I'm always looking at you. You're freaking on top of it on YouTube, on Facebook Live. You're all over the place, man. So that's good, man. So tell me a little bit about your background, right? Let the listeners and viewers know more about you and your background pre the liver failure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so check it out. We all know that we are products of our environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how you've been raised or not raised, lack thereof, who you're surrounded by, your choices and beliefs become solidified whether you like it or not. And given my upbringing, alcohol became a major coping mechanism. Yeah. And it's sadly, my first sip of alcohol was 8 years old. And then I didn't say it was crazy. Right. It didn't become a problem until I got engulfed in the DJ world. I was a DJ for 16 years, professional for 10, internationally represented for 5. I was playing with celebrities, Lil Jon, Skrillex. I've been in his hometown, played with him a couple times. And Cali Swag District, did shows all over the place. So nice. I was really in deep in that whole DJ world. And sadly, that world will swallow you whole if you're not solid as a human. And as solid as you are, it's still going to test you. And eventually what had happened is life happened. Yeah. My liver was like, dude,
I'm done, man.
Yeah. It's like, you got it. My wife, I had moved to San Diego. I had already lost my job, lost my house, lost my car, bank accounts. I lost everything and ended up moving to San Diego. And there was this one moment, I'm walking my wife out the door and she says, you're looking a bit yellow today. And I'm like, it's whatever, know. And it's like I'm looking out the front door and there's a sun right there. So I'm like, it's just the sun.
It's the sun reflecting on me or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the door's red. So maybe there's a comment. I'm a graphic designer. So I'm trying to come up with all these things. Little did I know that it was my liver saying, hey man, done too much. Right. And so I don't want to get too graphic with it, but what had happened is I was just resting, and it turns out that my stomach, a couple veins had opened up in my throat. Wow. And my stomach was filling with blood, and I didn't know that. And you get sick after you swallow a pint of blood. You'll learn that in the movie Fight Club, which is my favorite movie on the planet.
Yeah. Definitely.
2 reasons. Once you've lost everything, you're free to do anything. Right? So at that point, it's just crazy. So anyway, 4 hospitals later, I literally signed my advance directive. They're basically, what do you want us to do with your body? We can't guarantee that we will bring you back to life. Basically, you're dying.
Damn.
And then I signed that whole deal, and my family was there, and 250 hours of absolute torture. They put me in a research facility. They linked me up to all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, you're dying. Your body is literally on its way out. And so there's lots of things that happen. And I was allergic to certain medications, so I couldn't take anything. Everything goes through your liver. So you can't take a lot of stuff because it's all being processed. And if you've damaged it, to where it is now, actually stage 4 cirrhosis, thankfully I'm recovered most of the way.
Yeah.
Everything goes through that. So it can't handle all these medications. So I basically had to suffer through all the pain. And that goes for up to a year after that. I still, like, even to this day, years later, I still take ibuprofen. I still don't take anything like that.
Right.
And when I started showing signs of life, what do you do?
Yeah.
You have nothing. The only thing you have is your new family, right? Which is my wife and then my stepchildren. And it was just insane. And so from there, it became a situation of basically starting over. But I had to start over with everything that happened in my past that I barely even remember. So negative in my bank accounts. I lost everything that I had worked for. I have nothing. My entire life, everything I've earned disappeared. And
let me ask you something. And so, do you think? Because I think a lot of people, you know this obviously, as entrepreneurs, we are always being faced with different crowds of people, influences, and things of that nature. What do you think would be a good advice to give our listeners to say, hey, regardless of the environment you surround yourself with or not, I mean, one, you have to make sure that you surround with the right type of environment. Number two, though, like, how do you stop the influences or in this case, I mean, maybe they didn't mean any harm. And it's like, it's casual drinking here and there, whatever. Yet that's affecting you, though. So how can you as an entrepreneur say, hey, you know what, maybe there's a red flag or something to kind of push off of that?
Well, when it comes down to anything that's either healthy or damaging to you, there's always I figure that this is the best way to look at it. If you have a bad day, what's your go-to? If you have a good day, what's your go-to? So I'll relate it back to alcohol or any type of substance like that, and then relate it to successful endeavors. Back in the day, when I had a bad day, I go, hey, I want to drink. And I'd also go, had a great day. Let's go get a drink.
Yeah.
Then you flip that, and then you start to debate what you do when you feel bad and you feel good. Nowadays, when I have a bad day, I look for people that I can support. And I don't have bad days. I always operate at, we'll say, A to A plus, A minus. I'll feel an A minus, but I'm never, a B is like torture to me. I'm just I love every single aspect of life. So I'm always there. So you think about that now and you go, well, when I'm having an A minus day, I'm hanging out with Cesar and I'm trying to work on something that he's got going on. I'm working with Trey. I'm over here building a blog for him. I'm doing something that makes me feel successful, makes me feel like I'm doing something constructive with my time. Because the reality is everything we do today is setting us up for success tomorrow.
Right.
On the
or
flip
failure
side,
or a lesson. Not failure, a lesson, definitely.
Either you're winning or you're learning, brother.
Right,
There's
exactly.
no failure in this, man. That's obviously mind state, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. And then you relate to a good day. What are you doing on a good day? What are you doing on a great day? I'm also helping other people succeed because my success is derivative of their success.
Right.
So the only way to find real or feel real success is by helping other people succeed. That's what being a solution provider actually is, being an entrepreneur. You've got something to offer. So if you're taking your bad days, you're taking your influences and doing something that's not contributing to your happiness, not contributing to your success, or not contributing to your money, then first off, we got to stop doing those things. Right?
Yeah.
Period. We got to find a reason to continue moving forward, not just moving forward, but feel like we're making progress. It's okay to burn out.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No.
Thing. That's a good problem to have. But that's kind of my reference for things like that.
And I love that. And hopefully the people that are listening to us can actually take note of that. And I would probably empower you to go do that now and start thinking about, like, if I have a bad day, what is going to be not necessarily my fallback? What am I going to do? And make sure that it's something positive that is going to help you get into a positive state of mind. If you have a good day, I'll tell you, what are you going to do? One thing that I do sometimes, I'll give myself a high five. I'm like, good job, Cesar. I'll pat myself on the back. Right, exactly, right? Yeah. You don't need to wait for somebody to do that. Just do it yourself. Again, it's something to get you in that physiology and in that formation of being happy, right? And moving forward. So so definitely people should go ahead and do that today and just start thinking about that,
Cesar, on that note, I want to point out about being happy.
Mhm.
First thing, here's what I noticed, man. And I always say this, it took me 19 years to become an overnight success. It took me that long to figure it out.
Yeah.
When I did, it all made sense. Happiness, feeling happy, and feeling successful, they're both abilities. It's not just something, you can't just go buy success. You can't go buy happy.
Right.
You just can't go do happy. I dance, man. Like, I'm in the gym, I'm doing all these things. Actually, I always say this, don't be afraid to dance. People
Yeah.
love to see what happiness looks like.
Right.
So feeling happy, the reality behind that is we have to be in a position to actually receive. And I personally believe that happiness is only real when it's shared. I'm happier than a tornado in a trailer park, buddy, which is why I'm hanging out with you right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I get to share my happiness and success with you, man. So when you put yourself in that place or find a way to get there, then you realize that the world wants to make you happy. It literally conspires to contribute to your happiness and success. It's really cool.
Yeah. No, and you have a good point there too. Definitely, that is actually something that again, many people might see happy, and then you're behind closed doors, and you're really going through some challenges. And so I like that. Definitely, it has to be something you're sharing with and every aspect of your life. You're having that. So that's pretty awesome. Now, so you came out of your recovery, and then was that like your turning point? When you're like, okay, I got to look at life differently. Obviously, I had to change my life one way or the other, or what was that like?
It's really interesting. My turning point didn't show up for another 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Because you think about this, I have no money. So I'm thinking like, okay, I have a resume and I'm overqualified. I've worked in IT. I've been a manager. I've run teams. I've done all kinds of stuff. And I'm overqualified for all the positions in least where I'm at, right? So I'm not going to get hired. I'm not getting hired. So I'm submitting all my resumes. I'm doing all these things. And I'm like, what's going to happen? Okay, well, what can I do? How do I create something out of nothing, right? So these people won't hire me. I have to start something or do something. How do I do this, right? So I'm just like every single day was just stress. Now, I want to put that on top. If it took me about 6 months, I lost my ability to walk properly. I had to learn how to walk again, to get functional, to think cognitively, to think, proactively and whatnot, before I could even hit the gym. So I've got those physical constraints with those cognitive, we'll say, bottlenecks. And it's just so intense, man. So you think about how microscopic you actually feel. I actually felt like less than human. I felt that, my wife, I wasn't, a real man anymore. Like, does she even see me like that? And it was really, really intense. And so I say that because I had been in the gym. I'm in the gym every day, every single day. That's where a lot of my focus comes from. I take that back. That's where I like to create my focus that I could bring into the office.
Got it.
And there was this moment, and it was the moment. I had been lifting this weight. It was like a 60-pound bar. And this little old woman comes up. She's like, "You're doing it wrong." I'm like, "What do you mean I'm doing it wrong? I'm lifting the 60-pound bar." Right? She's like, No. You have to change this. You got to do this. You're moving too fast. You're doing these things. And she's like, "Lower your weights." Right? And it didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, why is it? This woman's not buff. What does she know? Right? Her name's Nancy. I still see her.
Yeah.
And she says, "Lower your weight. Right? Go slower and go half the distance. Take longer. Right? You got to really pay attention." And so from there, I started to notice that 20-pound bar was starting to feel like the 60. And then she showed me all these different like micro techniques. And I'm like, this is a real workout. I'm actually making progress now. I'm feeling progress. And it was that moment after she walked away. And I'm like, that was amazing. And then that was the click when I realized that I was focusing on all of the wrong areas of not just my body, but of my approach to life. Like if I continue, that was the correlation from my past life moving into my present. I had to let that go. So I had to have that epiphany right there. And when I had that, then I started realizing that I am focusing in all of the wrong areas of business. I've never done this before. So I had to invest. I had to really figure out what I'm doing, how to do it, invest in myself, do all these things and really get my hands on the information and focus on the microscopic elements. In a muscle, it's not this guy. It's everything around it. Even your muscles have supporting muscles.
Nice.
So you can get big, but you won't get strong. So I was getting bigger in my business, but not stronger. So it was a trip the way that worked. And then I started focusing more of my attention on YouTube, which is what I'm doing right now for everybody, sharing my happiness in that realm.
Yeah.
It's just a trip. It really is a trip. And to take something and create something that's an honest expression of yourself with the pure intention of helping other people, that is a different outlook on life. It kind of, you have to really want that. That has to be something that you're genuinely interested in doing, is supporting other people. Because if you don't support others, they're not going to support you, especially when you're doing it all wrong.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And the two things that came off of that, one is, just because you're busy, that doesn't necessarily translate to progress, right? So being very busy on anything you do is not necessarily progress. And sometimes we as people tend to act and pretend very busy, like we don't have time for anything. And at the end of the day, we don't accomplish anything, right? So we have to, I like that you have to take your time and really look at every single aspect, really evaluate it and see what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what do you need to adjust. And so that's amazing. And the other thing too, that I didn't think about it until you mentioned that, is that just as Nancy was telling you about, how to lift that and do this and do that, you can relate a lot to that, to life. And you're right. I mean,
Absolutely.
a workout, how you show up in your workout is how you're going to show up in your life, in different aspects, your business.
The way you do one thing is the way you do everything.
Right. Yeah.
So this, I talk about that all the time. It's the focus that I find or create in the gym is the same exact amount of focus I give to my dishes. It's like, I got to do, even it's still not good enough. You don't know how much focus I cleaned. I swear I cleaned it. There's still a spot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm doing backflips in the gym. I'm doing these things. I'm moving forward. And it's true. The way you look at this and that is the same way you look at your business. So we don't have business problems. We actually have life problems that reflect in our business. So when we tackle these things, when we tackle our procrastination on the dishes, on the living room, on these things, on the, all of that, we get better at sending emails, answering phone calls. More people answer our messages. More people are on time. More people keep other people informed. There's so much more that happens because you're good at life, not business. The business is the reflection of how good you are at taking care of yourself. It's amazing the way that correlates, and that goes into the body too.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. And so at which point did you decide that, you know what, I'm not going to go back to work. I think I'm just going to become a full-time entrepreneur. When did that take place? How did that show up to you?
Trust me, man. I had that moment. Where my old life literally called me and was like, "You ready to come back?"
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, I'm so good at what I do. Like, I've 5,000 events under my belt. I've been sponsored internationally. Like, I did so much. I'm still good at doing that.
Yeah.
But is that what I wanted? Is that going to support the life that I want? That life, even though I'm really good at that, it's not what I wanted for me. I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars as a DJ. I was one of the highest paid DJs in all of that area there. Booked, sometimes I would do doubles almost 7 days a week, do a pool party, then the club, pool party, then the club. I was burning myself out. It was just crazy. And then it came to a point where they literally called me and said, "We want you to come back and do this." Now I live hours away. And I was like, "No, I can't, there's no way." Because I literally have to weigh. I got to weigh my new life.
That wasn't aligned to your new purpose, your new life, your life meeting, whatever you were seeking at that moment, right?
Here's the trip, though. I didn't know my purpose then. I did not know. This is when that we'll say fork in the road kind of came in, when that option. Do you go back to do what you're good at and remove the alcohol and do things differently and get back in the scene? Or do you do something that you really, really, really want to do? I went to the Art Institute of LA. Doesn't mean I learned anything, but my passion was graphic design and art. I'm an artist. Every aspect of my life is derivative of some type of art, including language and all of that stuff. And I'm a graphic designer. That's why you steal my stuff. I'm really good at that. Get it out. Right? Now, once again, it was the correlation of not being able to get hired, not wanting to go back to my old life, but knowing what I'm really good at, and then going, if I can do anything, if I've lost everything and I'm free to do anything I want to do, what do I want to do? I want to with people through my art. And so that's where I created Better Than Bad, right? It's a YouTube channel, man.
Yeah.
So every single, literally, if you watch any one of my ads, you'll see it be like, all these kids making millions and like, I could do it too, you know? Like, I actually have something I could share. I got experience, and these kids are just like monetized and just great. Like, they're doing nothing yet. It's just crazy. So at that moment, I realized how big YouTube was. I did all that research and then went, all right, how do I'm in IT, right? I used to work and I still build computers. I run websites and all that stuff. I used to work with an IT company. So I was like, dude, I could take all my tech, take my arts, I can take all these things, put it all together, feel good about what I'm doing, really immerse myself in that, and take my life in another direction, right? And that's why I was able to monetize my channel in a matter of months, opposed to a matter of years, which is typical. Right. So that once I realized that I'm really good at those things, then I was like, okay, I can make money doing what I love, right? Which means that I'm over delivering in every single thing I do because I love what I'm doing, every aspect of it. Yeah. Even when it doesn't work, I'm like still learning something, right? So I can put all of my energy into that. That eventually turned into people wanting me to teach them how to do what I did in 3 months instead of them stressing for 5 years. And then nice. I became a mentor and a coach, and then started consulting and started building companies. And even when I started doing that, I was doing that the wrong way. It was like, it's crazy, man. So,
and, and the beauty of that is that, again, when you do something you love so much, it doesn't even feel like it's, a job or working or any of that stuff. You actually appreciate it, and you can get more done when you're doing that. I mean, I remember, me when I was working at corporate, going into my job, and sometimes like, did I really want to be here? You're putting the 12, 13 hours, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be here. Yeah, they might pay good, but I'm not liking it, and there's something bigger than this for me. And that's kind of what you found. You found that at the end of the day, you ended up finding that passion, which is what you're doing now. And, the one thing that is kind of funny, actually, I have an IT background, so now I know why I like you.
IT all day, brother. All day.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And so let me ask you something. What are some of the things that you do now? Like, obviously, you talked about going to the gym, and then that's a way for you to focus. Are there any specific habits that you do on a day-to-day basis to get you in that positive state of mind?
Make my bed, brother. First thing, dude. If you can't see it right now, man, that thing is done, been made. That's the first decision of the day. My DMO, daily mode of operations, this is how it works. So it actually starts from the day prior. So everything that I've been working on either has like a place on my desktop. It's got something. Sometimes I'll just put my machine to sleep and have all my work there. But I prepare for what I want to wake up to. So immediately once I turn that on, I know what's good. Now, the reality with operating at a peak state of performance, this is all mindset. This is going to be something that you'll learn from Sam Ovens, which is one of my mentors. This is one of the most incredible consultants on the planet. He owns consulting.com, multi cash millionaire. Amazing. When you're operating at a peak state of performance all the time, like literally 24/7, you can turn your mindset, your focus on, off at any time. You don't have to do anything to get ready for the day. You're constantly ready. You're good. You're excited for phone calls. You're excited to get those emails out. You're excited to have your systems in place to do all these things. So my day consists of continuing the progress from the day before. So I'm constantly moving forward. It takes a little bit of preparation. Some days are more frustrating than the other. Right. But the only other thing that I'd say is I will wake up 3:45 in the morning, get to the gym 4:30, 5 o'clock. Get my focus on. I was a DJ, so I'm listening to Skrillex and dubstep and hardcore and just like, wow, just getting it in the gym, right? Getting super excited for the day. And now that I mentioned that, Cesar, every single day is the best day of my life, man. Best day of my life. Every day is better than the last. Right. I'm excited, man. I have no idea what's showing up tomorrow, dude. And that's exciting. Right. But I always have this energy, right? I've always got this just like passion for life, which is really cool. Really fun. And so I need less. Actually, I don't want less. I literally don't need much at all. I need some water, man. Like that's it. I'm good to go. Right.
Yeah. And I was watching one of your videos, and I think it was either yesterday or the day before yesterday. I'm not sure. Yeah. It was the day before yesterday. And you were talking about, and I'm gonna link it to this, which you just mentioned. You were talking about how many people back in the day, maybe 2 weeks ago, because things have changed drastically in the last 2 weeks, are always looking forward to that Friday. Friday's finally here, so we can have the time off and whatever the case may be. Yeah. And there was the positive and the negative, or the two aspects of that, the two views for you and even for me. Is like, to me, sometimes I forget which day I'm living in, because to me it's like every day is the same. Every day is you want to do the same thing, show up the same way, do the same performance every day, right? And then for some people though that were used to working and now they're forced to be at the house, and you were talking about this, they were looking forward to that Friday. Now they might not be looking forward to the days that they're at home, right? And so you got to be able to change. Every day is a blessing, man. That's how I see it.
100%. And that's a trip. And in that, looking forward to Mondays. I always talk about that actually when I talk about Mantis mindset, because the Mantis program it's so awesome, man. It's literally everything that I had to do to put myself in build my business step by step. It's a complete framework, custom design for everybody. And so I have the Mantis mindset, which I talk about that. And it simply says, it's your ability to look forward to Mondays. And I'm telling you, man, it's when every day is just amazing. Does it really matter what day it is? You're just rocking it. Now, there's a lot of, Gary Vee is the one that actually brought up that concept. And he's like, dude, you guys need to get stoked for Monday. Things are happening. Friday is when people kind of like take a step back and don't want to be as involved. For us entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs that are constantly making moves or interested in making moves, we're always open to new ideas and putting things in play. So when less people are interested in what we've got going on, it's like, I got to wait for your Monday. I got to wait for you to be bored to take a look. How do I get your attention now? Right. And it's a good thing. We all need to relax. We all need to do our thing. And that, once again, that's derivative of, man, when you're spending 40 hours a week, 20 hours a week doing something that is just, paying the bills. Yeah, man. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
I'm not gonna knock them for it. I used to do
it.
No,
right. Yeah. It's funny. I was listening to Les Brown, and he was talking about, I forget the statistics and then what he mentioned, but he was talking about that between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. on every Monday, that's when most of the deaths happen. Obviously before this. And that was due to one reason, and that's stress. People not wanting to go to work, right? And because they were so, they're so hung up on that weekend that, they had finally 2 days to rest. Now they got to get back to a job that they may not be enjoying, or whatever the case may be. So what is your take on that? Like what would you give people that are in the fence line or thinking about maybe, hey, should I leave my corporate job or should I leave my 9-to-5 job to become an entrepreneur? Specifically, right in today's market, what is your advice on that?
Do they feel like an entrepreneur? Is it just a thing? Now, here's the reality with entrepreneurship. I just put out a post a few minutes ago saying the inevitable.
Go back and check it out. Yeah.
I literally put it out like 45 minutes ago. The inevitable success of the entrepreneur in 2020. This is true, man. It's not home-based businesses, entrepreneurship online. It's not like a thing to do. It's the thing to do. So if you're stuck in a corporate position, if you're stuck in a job that you don't like, first off, get another job. If you are not happy, you have to realize this: the price of anything is the amount of life you're willing to trade for it.
Yeah.
Anything. If you are unhappy in a position right now, first off, my honest advice or perspective would be to figure out what happiness really means to you. What does it mean? Like, I mean, like, I don't mean like, oh, I'm happy when I'm walking my dog. Cool. Okay. Right. Now, I mean, who are you with? Where are you at? What are you wearing? What does success mean to you? Does it have anything to do with money? Right? I don't care if Gary Vee talks about this all the time. There's people who will take hundreds of thousands of dollars in pay cut just so they're happier, just because there's less stress. Life is not expensive it is. When you think about it, when you break everything down, it's expensive. But to feel happy and to feel successful, I am successful when I'm drinking water. I just successfully did this. Boom. Yeah, I'm working on my water, right? So the reality with that is, I was just thinking this a little while ago, like this morning, I'm sitting here going, I'm so stoked. My wife, she's like, we have a 15-minute break, and then we have our hour lunch, and then we have our 15-minute break. And then my first thought was, I remember being a telemarketer and having my time limited by somebody else, or I could no longer afford grilled cheese sandwiches. Whoa, like that I was like, I really, really don't like that. Someone having control over my time,
Right.
over my energy. Are you for real? Like, this is, I don't like that. What I do love is being able to take that same time and give it and share it with people and still make progress and feel good about what I'm doing.
Right.
It's not the whole boss, I don't have a boss thing. I don't mind having a boss. I got people that are like crazy wealthy. I look up to them and they're my mentors, and I do things for them, and they're clients of mine. And I put them in a different position, and I do things differently with them because they're in a different realm, right? Very corporate. The reality with that is I did not like having my time constrained like that and feeling like I'm a part of a system instead of being a system that other people can be a part of. And it's a trip. So if people are on the fence right now of being an entrepreneur, once again, first thing is what you're doing really worth the sacrifice and happiness? How much happy are you trading to make money? Is there a way that I know for a fact there's a way to do it. I just don't know who I'm talking to, right?
Right. Yeah.
What is it that you really, really want to do? I had this conversation. Someone jumped on my calendar the other day and like, I want to jump into the Mantis program. I'm like, cool. I'm more than happy to work with you. What do you want to do? And she says, I don't know. And I said, okay, well, what are you doing now? She's like, I'm a teacher over here and I'm spending 40 to 50 hours a week teaching and making this much. I said, well, do you want to build a product? Do you want a service? What do you want to do? She's like, I don't know. I said, okay, all right, look, well, first off, we got to have somewhat of an idea. Otherwise, we're going to waste our time trying to figure it out. I'm more than happy to do that with you.
Right.
The point is that you've got to have somewhat of a direction. And I said, are you willing to put in 100 hours into your own business instead of spending 40 hours in someone else's? She says, yes. So even though she's making really good money, even though she has like all of these different things set up, she's part of a union, she's got all this stuff, she still wants out of that. She still wants to be able to work from home. She wants to be able to, they call it the laptop life. They still want to be able to make money in their sleep. They want to wake up to more money and be able to do what they want and not have to worry about the bank account. They don't want to have to trade their time for money. So it doesn't really matter. So I wrap that up with saying, first off, you can find a way to do what you absolutely love for a living. If what you're doing doesn't contribute to your happiness, your feeling of being successful, and it's not making you money, then stop doing it, period. If it doesn't make you happy, stop doing it. Eventually what happens is you start to realize that you spend more time blogging, you spend more time doing this, you spend more time doing that. And then you go, this is what I want to get paid to do. How do I do that? That's when you talk to other entrepreneurs. That's why you get your hands in mentorship and coaching and that programs and all those things to help you take those ideas and monetize the crap out of it so you can do what you really love for a living.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Talk to people. Be a part of someone else's success, and I guarantee you'll attract an opportunity. Period.
Yeah. One thing that I want to just emphasize that and I like that way you put it, is don't be in the process, be the process. That's pretty powerful when you think about that, because again, you want to be able to create a process that can help other people. I'm of the belief that the more people you can help out throughout their journey, through their own challenges, the more successful you become, the more you do for humankind, period. The other thing too is with that you mentioned is, I believe that you also have to make sure that you work harder on yourself than you do on anybody else. So work harder on you, whatever that might be, whether it's through self-education, through watching podcasts, to following you, following me, following people that are doing something different, and just educating yourself, doing more of that than doing it for somebody else. Because at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself. And the last thing is, with that too, you kind of touched on that. And I also have a couple of different mentors. One of them is Marshall Silver, and he makes you do something, and is your perfect day of play and your perfect day of work. Kind of going back to the direction. What is it that you want? If you're looking for happiness, what is happiness to you? And you can put that into that perfect day of play and perfect day of work that is going to be perfect in all aspects. If you were to have it without any limitations, what would that look like, right? When you start putting that into the universe, man, like things start coming to you in a different aspect, right?
Exactly. That's magnetism. And we talk about that in module 1 of Mantis. And that right there is, I have them. I'm like, I'm gonna give you a list of like 75 questions.
Awesome.
And my mentor, one of my mentors, and I was turned on to him by Sid, actually,
Oh, cool.
is Frank Kern, man.
Yeah,
Frank Kern. Oh my God. Like, whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I had this thought. I was like, I connect so well with him that I wouldn't want to hang out with him for a day because I don't know if I'd actually get anything out of it. Right? It's like I feel like I'm just right there with
Yeah,
him. It's like
yeah.
I would love to meet him. That's one of those things.
Yeah.
Then I've got Sam Ovens. That he's a beast. He's a
Right.
beast. Gary V. Those are my three
Gary
right
V, yeah,
there.
yeah.
You know, so like it's such a trip, and that comes down to really like falling in love with the process, and part of that process is really determining it's what does success smell like. Like,
Yeah.
if I say this to everyone, if I was to hit a success button right now, boop, what is it? What changed? Are you still wearing the same stuff you're wearing right now, Cesar? Like, do you have
Right.
hair at this point? Like,
Right.
did you grow? Like, do you understand?
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
fit the crazy. Like, do you have more jewelry? Right? Are
Yeah.
you still wearing the same cologne, same jewelry like that, same necklace? Right? Do you have a different chair? Are you in the same place? What about your logos in the background? Are those different? You know,
Yeah.
when Frank Kern really helps you like go in absolute with those things. And I love helping people think smaller and more quantum about their existence. This is why I'm considered a quantum strategist is
Yeah.
I can look at what people are saying, what they're doing, and then point out all these connections and go, this is why you think and feel like this. We need to get to the root of these things, not on a therapeutic level, but
Right.
on a very, we'll say, visceral level. And then once you understand why you are, then you get to look at your perfect day, look at your perfect day of
Right.
play, day of work, and then start designing. And the trip with all of that is once you align, once you speak it to the universe, once you really get it out, I'm telling you, man, it's like reverse paranoia. Like every time you look around, just
Yeah.
more happiness,
It's showing
more
up.
success.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you attract abundance to the point where you overflow, man, and you have to share that with everyone, man. And
Yeah,
that
man.
attracts more. It's just that
Yeah.
overflow of success, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, I love that. So let me ask you this: what is it that you have right now that you have to offer? You know, that you work with your clients, so people can kind of get an idea of what is it that you do.
Yeah. Okay. So well, I'll start with like the most recent thing.
Yep.
This is something that I'm doing for the community. So I have the Hitchhiker's Guide to YouTube. If people haven't signed up, it's completely free. Everyone wants to know how to build a YouTube channel. You guys have seen me rank a video first on Google and YouTube. I ranked an 11-second video just for fun, then deleted it. Like I was just showing you guys how to do it.
Yeah.
And so what I did is created the Hitchhiker's Guide to YouTube, and we're currently building out all the modules. And I'm doing it in real time, meaning it's one of the most thorough social media courses you can get because it's completely user driven. All of your questions answered. And we're talking every single aspect, the psychological elements, the tech, the editing, the everything, anything you could possibly imagine on YouTube, and how to basically not just make money, how to get a channel that is going to be enjoyable, watchable, shareable, and people want to engage with it, all of that stuff. So I'm kind of bringing back all that better than bad channel stuff, all those things. And I'm building that out in real time. I've got hundreds of people going through it right now, hundreds of people in the group. So it's super duper fun. So eventually I'm going to end up selling that thing for $1,000. So I encourage everybody to jump in and be a part of it. At least get your membership. I'm not going to charge you later. And one of the coolest things is I run the teams, right? So I'm going to take that product, turn it into an affiliate product. And now everybody that went through it or is going through it has an opportunity to share it and actually make a residual income from it, or at least some type of income from that. Super duper cool. So that's the Hitchhiker's Guide. I also have the Mantis program. Mantis program focuses on the 10 most important elements that I needed. And we talked about this, focusing on the wrong areas. 10 most important elements to go from less than nothing to exactly where you want to be. I don't care if you have no product, no idea, no experience. You've tried and failed before. It doesn't matter where you're at. You start with mindset. As we talked about before, how it goes into your business, developing your personal mindset, your business mindset, all the way up to marketing, advertising, advanced analytics, and I mean, literally everything. Then we have the Course Creators Academy. So there's so many people out, just like the Hitchhiker's Guide, that's a course, the CCA. So many people have just an abundance of knowledge. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher, it doesn't matter if you're an engineer. I'm even working with a plumber. This guy's like, I never want to say anything about plumbing again, but I keep getting questions asked to me every day. I'm like, dude, let's build you a course.
Right.
So before anyone asks you any questions, you can send them to your course, they can get all their questions and then come back to you and get that done. So we use a 6-figure framework right there. Get your course online, super duper fun. Those two things are in direct correlation with what's happening right now, specifically with everyone having to stay home. If you're at home, it's a good time to take a course and get your hands on the information, get mentorship, get that information so you can build a business, get out of your 9 to 5 or get out of something and really do what you love. So take that while you're home.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're home, the other thing to do is get your thoughts out and give something back to the community. And we do that through the CCA. It's Course Creators Academy. Super cool. And then you guys know I'm a graphic designer. So I have the brand ambassadors program. So anyone can reach out to me. Graphic design, we do everything: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wallpapers, websites. I mean, anything you could possibly imagine, all the way up to literally building online stores. So people can buy your logo, you can get out there, you can brand yourself, you can get it done. Super duper fun, man. So I'm always busy, but like you said, I'm always making progress. And that's why I get so much done so quick.
Yeah, that's amazing. No, I love it. So I have a couple more questions for you. I'm really enjoying this, and I can go on forever, but I know that's not the case. So if you were to give one advice, right, and you're already giving us a lot of different tips, but if you were to give one advice for the people that are watching us or seeing this and how they can overcome anything in their lives, what would be that one advice?
How they can overcome anything in their life? That's a good question. How to overcome anything? Understand who you are. Understand why you are. The reality is it's a struggle because you feel it is. It's a struggle because you are under the belief that it's difficult. You've got to understand you. And the more research you do into who you are and why you are, your belief systems, your environments, study you. Find someone or something to ask you questions you've never been asked before. Really get to the root of why you continue to be exactly who you are. Ask yourself these things. Is it actually difficult, or is it just the way that I'm reacting to these things? A lot of times we react opposed to respond. So the more you grow as a human being and elevate your state of consciousness and awareness, right? There's things you can do. Lots of people do meditation. Lots of people read books. I've got 2 books right here. As a matter of fact, The Richest Man Who Ever Lived. Super fun book.
Yeah.
When you take care of yourself, you understand why you feel things are so difficult. I'm going to tell you this, we as not just creatures of habit, but as humans enjoy challenges. It's called cognitive reserve. We want things to be difficult so we can feel a sense of accomplishment. So when things are getting rough, we have to realize there's 3 truths. 3 truths. You can look it up. Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? There is your personal truth, right? That's what you believe. We'll relate it back to, we'll go into religion. You believe this is your personal truth, right? Then you have your political truth, which is, Cesar, you're awesome, man. You're so awesome, bro. He's the man. Yeah, talk to Cesar. That's the political truth. It's been repeated over and over and over. Therefore, we believe and we know and we get it. Then there's the objective truth. The objective truth is, brother, it doesn't matter how you feel about this information. It's still true. You cannot change the fact that we're having a conversation. It doesn't matter what they think about our conversation.
Right.
We are having a conversation. So when you understand your personal beliefs, your political truths, and merge that with we'll say the actuality of your situations, you're able to go, well, am I just believing that because it's been repeated to me? Do I believe in that? Do I believe it's difficult because I believe it's supposed to be difficult? Or is it actually difficult? When you break those 3 truths down, you start to understand how things correlate. And then you go, it's actually not difficult. It just looks difficult. And I believe it's difficult. What happens if I believe it's not difficult?
Right.
Right? What if I know beyond any scientific doubt that I can do this? What if I said you're already doing it simply by breaking that information down? Then you're actively succeeding in overcoming these obstacles. That's mindset. The way you look at information, the way you interpret it. This is why I call it mantis. A mantis will sit here with absolute focus for hours, and then it will strike whoosh, with absolute precision. It's like 99% accuracy. When you can do those things and interpret information in a way that's beneficial to you, not impeding progress, then it's no longer an obstacle. It's a challenge that you can easily overcome.
Yeah. I love that. I really, really love that. And there's two things. The Miracle Morning, what's his name? Hal Elrod, I think. He talks about, going back to finding, in terms of finding yourself, right? Or knowing who you are. He said, send out an email to, I think, 25 or 30 people, people that you know of, parents, anybody, coworkers, send them an email and have them give a personal evaluation of you and what are the things that you can improve upon or whatever the case may be. And you'd be surprised what you're going to get back. And then you start working on those things that they come back to.
Nice.
So,
I like that.
yeah. So it's kind of going back to like finding your, who you are and what can you work on. And then, the other thing too is, with what you just mentioned is it comes down to, like even the 4-minute mile, right? Like people didn't believe that it was possible for people to do that. Yet when it was done, then all of a sudden it became like, oh, we can do this, right? So I think at this point, anything is possible. It's just don't always follow the crowd or don't be that follower, be the leader, right? In more sense. Yeah.
So leading is a different type of mindset. You've got to be in that position. A lot of people want to lead by idea. You got to lead by example. You really that's a different. It's not hard to get there. You just got to be there.
Exactly.
I'm not saying people are like born with it. It took a lot of violence and a lot of horrible upbringing for me to be such a compassionate person. I'm not saying I was violent. It's just I was raised. I give the biggest hugs because I know what it's like not to have them. Right. I want to be the leader because I didn't have that support system. So now I want to make sure that everyone's taken care of. Right. I don't want to save people. I want to support them while they save themselves. Right. I want to be there. So leading is a totally different thing. And I'm with you on that, brother. That's
awesome, man. And I'm telling you, I really had a good time. And this is a lot of great information, a lot of good stuff, man. Where can people find you if they want to connect with you?
Well, I'm all over the place, as you mentioned. You guys will see me everywhere. If you guys want to jump on and like find me, the number one place to look right now is the Mantis program. That's got everything. It's got all my stuff. You guys can qualify for it. Mantis for everybody. It's for people who are like really serious and want to take their life and their business to another level. And I like to chat with people, make sure they're good to go. I've got the Trinity program as well. It's super cool. Nice. It's all online. It's super awesome. You could also go to aphidid.net, aphidid.com, aphidllc.com. You can facebook.com/my name, Kohdi Rayne. Dude, I'm everywhere.
Everywhere. And don't worry, guys. I'm gonna make sure I have all of this stuff on the comments so you guys can connect with Cody. Cody, again, thank you so much. It was a blast having you here and having this conversation. So really enjoyed it, man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate the invitation, man. I had a blast. Thank you for allowing me to express myself honestly.
Yeah, definitely. Really appreciate it. And for the rest of you guys, please do me a favor. Make sure you like us. You subscribe to this podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spreaker.com, Apple Podcasts, all over the place. Make sure you go check out Cody's stuff. It's pretty awesome. And please stay tuned for the next interviews coming up. Have a good one.
Hi, I'm Cesar Espino, real estate investor, business coach, and consultant, and author of the book, You Can Overcome Anything, Even When the World Says No. My number is 424-501-6046. In my book, I talk about making the necessary changes to shift your mind for prosperity and certainty. Pick up your copy at Amazon. I also love helping families with their real estate and can purchase your house fast and all cash. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. My number is 424-501-6046.
Thank you for having me today. I am so glad you tuned in to this podcast. You can find me at Spreaker.com, where you can like and subscribe. And to learn more about myself and my services, you can find me at www.CesarRespino.com, or you can also find me at Facebook under Cesar R. Espino. Once again, thanks for joining me. I am looking forward to having you at the next episode, and know that you truly can overcome anything.